Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another Storeroom review. I'm here with Joe.
And I'm here with Lee.
And today we're taking a look at the highly anticipated, long-awaited Marshall Code. We've got the 25 watt version with us today. It's the smallest one of the range. And the simple reason for that is the demand is so high that this is all we can have.
It's all we've got left.
We've sold out of everything else, but we thought we'd show you anyway. Do you know what Code is, Joe?
You know more than I do, but Code is Marshall's first ever digital modelling amp, if I'm not mistaken.
Depends whether you count JMD. I think that was digital modelling, wasn't it? But anyway.
This is the first one with all sorts of twiddly knobs and lights flashing and screens and things that I'm aware of.
And appy things.
And appy things.
We'll go into in a bit. Yeah, exactly that. It's been 5 years in the making. Various things have seen it get delayed, but it's finally here. And essentially it's a collaboration between Marshall and Universal Audio, Softtube, the guys who do plugins for Abbey Road, and some seriously big studios. So the guys that know their stuff as far as modelling and plugins and the digital world go. Obviously, Marshall.
You're in safe hands.
You're in safe hands.
In safe hands.
So yeah, the marriage of the two brands, Marshall bringing all their heritage and all their good stuff to Universal Audio to create this Code. It's a digital modelling amp packed full of awesome sounds. It's got a whole selection of Marshall voicings, mainly Marshall voicings actually, which is quite nice. I think all the cabinets on there are proprietary Marshall designs. Yep. It's got a few of your F-type, V-type, M-type.
Yeah, British cleans, American cleans. You'll see them listed as
Citrus or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So a few of other manufacturers' influences in there, but mainly Marshall sounds, and then a few effects as well. You've got it broken down really easily. If you can see here on B-Cam, the display on this one, it's quite a simple layout, and if any of you guys have used modelling amps, you'll be familiar with this kind of a layout. But it is nice and concise, and I do like the fact that they've laid the signal path out in signal path order, so you can really get your head around what's going on. Pre-effects, which are going to be your boosts, drives, compressors, the amp, which is the preamp, modulation effects, delay effects, reverb effects, power amp, so you can choose whether you want a big British power amp or like Class A or something like that.
So more headroom in it.
Yep, and then the cabinet models in there as well.
Speaker emulation.
Yeah, so you can have the usual suspects, 4x12, small box combo, all that sort of stuff. There are a couple of hidden features as well. There's presence controls in there and resonance controls, so you can really fine-tune the sound if you want. As I said, this is the 25, so everything is a little bit smaller on here. The layout is essentially the same, but on the bigger brothers, you do get a slightly bigger screen, and there's an extra control, which does make things a little bit easier.
On this smaller one, this control is a 2-in-1.
That's
function,
right. Yeah.
So on the other ones, you have a dedicated preset control and then an edit control.
That's right.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
In this one, it doubles up, but it's not terribly complicated.
It's still pretty easy to use.
A couple of minutes with it.
And especially if you are going to couple it with the app on your phone or iPad or something like that, which we will show in a bit, that makes it even easier as well. Usual features, headphones, backing tracks, all that sort of stuff.
USB out for direct recording. Plug it straight into your computer if you like. If you've got a computer.
If you've got a computer. One thing that won't come across on the audio is quite how loud this little thing is. We had a demo. We had the Marshall guys in with us a few days ago, and we had this thing cranked up in the store. And I think that's one thing.
You can see here on Bcam we're about 1.1.
Yeah.
1 point. So
it's seriously loud. You could probably gig this if you mic'd it up.
If
Certainly,
you mic'd it, you could gig it, I think.
And certainly the 50, which is a slightly larger cabinet, that's loud. And then there's the 100 as well, which is going to be very, very loud. So yeah, seriously powerful. But how does it sound?
Let's check it out.
Question. Let's take a closer look. It's the Marshall Code 25, and we are going up to 11 today.
Yeah. The numbers all go to 11. Look, right across the board.
One thing I forgot to say earlier is that the presets are completely editable, savable. It comes jam-packed with a load of factory presets. But
there's 100 spaces for preset sounds. 100.
And they're all customizable, so you can edit, change, save, do what you want with. You can have 100 presets the same if you want, all on 11. Can I go on that one, or should we find a different one?
Let's find another one. I'll tell you what that sounds like.
What?
That sounds like John Frusciante in the later years, I
Oh
think.
yeah. I need to learn some Chili Peppers
with clean
riffs.
plexi sound.
Yeah, but it's got that like twangy kind of. Yeah, have a go.
Very early.
That's TNT, isn't
That's
it?
TNT.
I am using the phone. I'm not texting, by the way. I'm using the app just to skim through ambience. See what that sounds like.
Washy, innit? You can turn all this
I was going to say, should we
wishy-washy off, can't
take
you?
this opportunity just to show exactly how you might edit a
So-
sound.
If I play something, you can turn all the bump off.
Yeah. Oh.
And all the little red lights come back when you...
And then if we want to edit something, so for instance, forgive us because we are working upside down here, it's a little bit tricky. If we want to edit something, as you can see, hold to edit. So let's say we want to change the reverb.
Yeah.
Let's hold that down and it'll instantly jump here. So you can see it's on a spring setting at the moment, so you can change room, you know, I think there's four. I think they said there's four different types of effects,
types of
four
everything.
reverbs, 4 delays, 4 modulations. So you can go through. We can change that to whatever we might like. Let's change it to stadium. And then you've got the parameters. So once you click that select, you've actually got the. Does that say the decay? Yeah. So you can just go in there, tweak. Maybe you want to. I don't know. Let's up the decay a little bit. Push to select, and then you basically work through all the variable parameters for that particular effect. So that's the presence, tone.
Because this is a button as well. I think you can see Lee's pressing it. Every time you press it, it changes the parameter that the knob controls. So let's change the modulation. Let's put something else on here. What have we got in a minute? Chorus. It's not 1988 anymore, so let's take the chorus off. Maybe some tremolo. Square wave or valve? Yeah. Oh, what other way? Let's just leave as is for a stock. And then don't want to edit anymore, so. And then you got a bit of tremolo. And more reverb.
Yeah, that's what I did.
But the character character of the sound is the same because you haven't changed the preamp or the power amp or anything.
You can really go in. You could. I think that's the idea with the factory presets. They're a great basis, so you'll go through and you'll find your favourites, but then you might want to make a few changes. And it's so easy with this like effects chain layout like that. So if you find a sound, you think that's just that's nearly there, but I want to see what it might sound like with a different cab. You can literally just hold down the cab and it will show, oh look, there you go, we're on a 1960 hand wired or whatever that is. You can go through, well, what does it sound like with this? What does it sound like with that?
Yeah.
Fine, oh, maybe try it through a 2x12.
It's like changing the speaker in the amp.
If you've ever used any, you can really tell they've come from a plug-in background, because if you've ever used anything, Amplitude, Pod Farm, anything like that, you'd probably be quite used to seeing that digital effects chain where you literally drag and drop bits in and build the puzzle. It's exactly the same as what you're doing on here on the amp, and when you use the app as well, the layout is much the same. So really, really intuitive. Go in easy. Once you found a sound that you're happy with, you just hold that down and it's stored. Right, another couple of sounds. Flangulator. This one's got you written all over it.
Yeah?
Analog freak.
No, that's not quite me.
That's not you.
That's more you. You have a crack.
All right. It's got a lot of bass, isn't it? For something so small. Again, that might not come across, but in the room, it's really big sounding. It's nice. What about Metal Edge? Go for it. Hang on. We were warned about this patch. As with all digital modelers, there's the odd patch that's a bit quirky. Hang on.
I think I can hear some auto wah in there, and I don't know what else.
Look out for that one if you buy the amp. It's listed as virus, and I think it's quite a fitting description for that one.
One to look out for.
Yeah, so I think if we just show you a bit about the app, because for me that was another big thing. App technology is not a new thing, being integrated with amps. There's been a number of other brands that have done it. However, I think Marshall have really hit the nail on the head with simplicity, because I find some of the other apps that are out there a little bit off-putting, and it's much easier just to use the amp.
Yeah.
Whereas I think this one is
It's
definitely
probably the other way
opposite.
around. Yeah.
Although the amp is very easy, if you have got a phone that will work the app, which is Android and iOS, or an iPad or something like that, it's really, really simple. So yeah, the app will control the amp. and the amp will control the app. You can choose which way round, which is kind of cool, because if you're using your preset sounds from your phone, say you have them saved on there, and then you use an amp that's not got those on, you can select that to control that. Or if you're using your amp that's got the sound saved on it and you suddenly plug your iPad in for the first time, or your mate's phone or something, you can choose which way.
That's a really cool thing. If you save all your patches, you can save them on the phone and not the amp.
Yes.
So if you could have your rehearsal amp, and then you could have your gigging amp, or you could go to your mate's house and you have all your patches saved on your amp, and then you just boot them up into somebody else's code, and you've got all your pre-programmed sounds.
Or if you're here in store or something, trying one out, and you dial in a great tone, and you think, do you know what, I want to take that home. You can save it to your phone, or for us, it'd be good in store as well, because we can save our patches to our phones, and then as amps sell, we can keep using the same patches, which is quite cool. Yeah. So, the layout of it is much the same as the amp. To start with, you've just got the library scroll through section here, where there's all the factory presets, and that's what I've been using so far.
If you press one, you'll know we're on Blues Breaker at the moment.
Blues Breaker, so if I select EL34 Heaven, ta-da, EL34 Heaven.
Can you hear it change?
When you're in a preset like that, you've got the same layout of controls, as you can see, gain, bass, volume, middle, and so on. There is a noise gate as well, which is easier to access on the app than it is on the amp. It's one of the hidden features on the amp, but on here you can see you've got threshold. So on every patch, you'll have this layout, and as you just tap, you can see it's really easy just to scroll like that, and it automatically remembers where you were. It does the same thing. You can see the colour goes from a grey to a yellow, which indicates where the setting was
before you change
just like the knobs on the amp do. You can just mess with those. If you want to go into the preset and actually mess with it on the specific side, then you can go in and you can see what amp you're using. So you can see here the preamp is 50s British. If you want to change that, you can literally just drag it and scroll, and there's all the different preamps that are in the code. Select which one you want and then change it. As you can see, I selected a preamp that was quite loud there, which allowed me to demonstrate the off button. As you can see, you can literally turn off any aspect of the signal chain, but obviously with great power comes great responsibility. So being able to turn off a power amp and still run through the preamp is going to yield some strange results. So just bear that in mind when you're messing.
Like the virus.
Yeah, perhaps like the virus. Once you're done in that section, you work through it same fashion really. You can go into the effects and you can see you've got pedals in front of the amp, modulations, delay, and so on. So you can literally tap on one, it will give you the parameters for that effect. You can change the master category of that effect, so you can change it from phase, flange, and so on.
Can we hear that working? Let's hear that working.
Yeah, all right.
Do something.
Let me go back into...
Take me through my range of modulations.
I'll just go back to EL34 Heaven, which is the base model for the whole amp with a nice Marshall-y sound. I was just going to say...
I was enjoying that, sorry.
I know, he was. I was just going to say, some of you may have noticed that I was messing around with it. I remembered another feature, which I'd previously forgotten. If you want to get really specific with things like delay times or modulation rates, and you find that the sliding scale is a little bit complicated or a little bit hard to be specific with, if you just double tap any of them, sorry, not double tap, hold, it brings up what looks like a calculator. So you can really get specific. So if you had delay and you were like, oh, this
You can punch
song,
in the milliseconds.
you're playing some U2 or something, you're like, I require a 400 millisecond delay or something like that, then you can really go in.
Is that what U2 fans sound like?
No.
No.
The Edge has a signature strap out on the market for about £160.
Right. What does that come with?
You don't want to know.
You can't put a price on my talent, son. I'm the Edge. Hey.
Oh no. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to be specific and tap in your delay times and modulation times, then you can do that. So that's the effects blocks. Another cool part of the app, which seems to be something that is very, very useful these days, is the playback feature. It will integrate seamlessly with your iTunes or whatever you may have on your phone, so you can stream backing tracks and any music to it. So if you open up playback, you can see it's automatically accessing my my iTunes on my phone. It goes straight into it.
You've got a U2 on there.
Probably, because didn't they make you buy their last? They gave away their album for free. You couldn't even escape it by not paying for it. They forced it upon you. So yeah, you can seamlessly integrate with that and access any of your music. It's got a Weezer track loaded up here, and you can also, which I think is really cool, loop parts of the track and speed up and slow down all from this screen.
So it's like a learning aid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can set cues within the track. So if there's a part of the song that you're trying to learn, or there's a bit that you like to jam over, you can hit markers, hit play, and it will just continuously loop that bit. You can then speed up or slow down without changing the pitch.
Ooh.
And it's no backing tracks or anything required, no special downloads. It's just using the music you would already have on your device. And that's it. That's the app. Nice and simple. I've only had the app for a couple of days.
6 hours?
Well, yeah. I've probably used it for less than an hour, and it took 5 minutes to find my way around it. It's so simple, really nicely laid out. No silly.
It's easier to
graphics or
use
anything.
than the amp, isn't it? Because you haven't got to remember. Well, you haven't got to press buttons and whole things. It's all there right in front of you.
Yeah,
You've got a bigger screen.
I would say that this is the smaller one in the range, so it's probably the more tricky to use, just because you've got the limited screen and only one preset control. But I would say that if you are going to use a phone or an app, it is going to make your life easier. The amp is still really easy to use, but the app's just so good. I think that's the difference. Menu, tuner, connectivity, really easy to connect, usual Bluetooth stuff. So anyway guys, thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for other videos. We'll be trying to do as many of these as we can. In the meantime, keep on playing, and if you want to check it out, we've got it in store now. It's the Marshall Code 25. Cheers.